Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Motiv8. I'm your host Jefferson Coe, and today's episode will actually be not a rerun, but I would like to talk about what I talked about last week in the last episode. So if you haven't listened to that episode, please go back and listen to that one first, and then come to this one and see what I have to change. Also, what's clearly new is I'm trying to use a camera now and trying to make videos for my podcast. And obviously this is the worst setup ever. I have this mic right in the camera, big no for movies if you're into film production and stuff like that. But for the room that I'm in and the way this is all set up, this is the best I can do right now. And plus this is really last minute. This is something I was thinking about in my last episode, and I was I really want to address something that I had said. And so yeah, so just bear with me for the time being. Moving forward, I'll probably start making more videos, and actually definitely start making more videos. Might get more creative, and just until I find me a good place and settle into a place where my get quote unquote studio. And yeah, so just bear with me. So let's get started. All right, so I moved the mic out of the camera because it's still picking up my sound. I'm gonna just have to speak a little bit louder. If I don't know if it's really changing that much, but let me go ahead and get this episode started. So I was listening to last week's episode, and I was yeah, it was a good message, and I really enjoyed listening to it when I went back to listen to it. But I feel like I didn't really give the struggles and the pains enough attention about rejection and not ending up where you may have wanted to be. And just how do you get up to that point of being able to really accept what's meant for me is going to happen. What's meant to be for me is meant to be, and how do you get to that point? I was saying oh, it's okay, but how do I get to that point of feeling okay with it? And I just wanted to, and I also mentioned how stressful it can be. And I also was oh, well, you just have to relieve your stress. You just have to, just, try to act like it's okay. The plans that you have been planning for and they didn't fall into place. And then you're sitting there well, now what? What now? I've definitely been at that point. And I'm I feel like I really didn't give that aspect of this journey enough attention. So that's what I want to do with this episode. And I wrote down a few things, and I want to first of all address that it's not always easy to relieve stress. Yes, I think that our brains and our bodies are kind of addicted to stress. Even even to wake up, we have to feel some type of stress in order for our body to wake up. So that's why maybe if you have a bad dream or a scary dream and your heart is racing and something really, really scary happens and then boom, you wake up, that's stress. So it's not always easy to relieve it. And you might find it harder to actually relax because we're so in tune with stress, in the life that we live in. We're always constantly worried about what's next, how we're going to pay for rent, or how we're going to pay for school, how we're going to pay for fees, and whatever it is that we have to pay for. Usually stress originates from money, to be honest with you. And I just want to say, when in the episode I was saying, oh, you just got to relieve stress, you got to relieve it, but it's not always easy to do that. So some ways that I think that helps me to relieve stress whenever I'm over here wondering about the future and where I'm going to end up is to really just kind of focus on the now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard this before, but you kind of have to really focus on what is in front of you and what is one step that you can take to get to that ideal future that you see yourself, that you hope to one day be in. And so that's something that really, really helped me to kind of relieve stress, because it's not always easy when you are applying for something and you're like just waiting, the anxiety of waiting, and then like you finally hear back from it and then boom, it didn't happen, or maybe something else came up, or they pick somebody else, and it's not always easy, and that stress is hard to like relieve, because that's the one thing that you really been hoping for. But like I said in the last episode, it's okay. And I want to tell, how do you get to that point of being okay with rejection, or with not ending up where you actually want it to be. And first off, I want to also say, like, it hurts when you do get rejected. Like, I feel like in the last episode I really didn't like linger on that aspect of this process, because yes, it does hurt, and it's not easy to just accept the fact that you didn't get the job that you just wanted, or you didn't get the scholarship that you just applied for, the offer, you didn't get into the school that you wanted to go to, or whatever it is that you may have really, really wanted, or may have gotten rejected from. It hurts, and it's definitely okay to it's definitely okay to acknowledge that hurt, and it's definitely okay to like just be aware that, okay, this hurt, now what? And so I always lead into the now what, because I never, like, it's okay to like acknowledge your emotions and like kind of sit in it for a little bit to really like digest it and stuff. I definitely agree that it's healthy to do that, but don't live there. Don't live in that hurt, don't live in that rejection, and don't let that define you. And I feel like that is something that really helps me to be able to keep going and be okay, because as long as I'm keep on moving, if I'm always staying on the path of wherever I feel like I'm trying to go, like looking for that next thing, like, okay, well, now what? I need to go apply for something else, or I need to find a job, or do something else, or whatever it is that I may need to do. I have to just keep on moving. But yeah, and I also wanted to address in the last episode, I had said, well, what's meant for you will happen. And I want to acknowledge that it's so easy to just say that. A lot of people hear that and they're like, okay, well, I really, 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 really want this thing, so it got to be meant for me. It got to be meant for me. And but like, what if something that you truly believe that is meant for you and you don't end up getting it either? Like, so it's just like, there's those moments where you're just like, oh, like that's when rejection can really, really hurt. And I feel like I want to say that, like, when you get to that point, that's when the way that you can become okay with it, which is what I was supposed to answer, but I forgot to answer that. So the way that helps me to be okay with the outcome of offers and situations is the fact that I remind myself of what I have now, and I remind myself of all the blessings that I've been given, and where I am now in life. And then I realize, like, it's okay. Like, there's more to come. There's like, I'm already, like, I have a bed to sleep in, which is a blessing. I have air in my lungs. I'm able to like run, walk, move, exercise. I'm able to do so much. And I realize, like, just the small things that helps me to cope with something, like, I don't know if this makes sense, but just the small things that kind of help me to realize, like, it's okay if I didn't receive something that I don't necessarily have right now. Like, my life is still the same, and I'm still okay. I'm still here, And so that's one thing that helps me to move forward and keep on moving, keep on going, and then applying for those more and more things. And then ending up wherever else that I end up. So what else did I write down? How do you get to being okay with accepting rejection? I just explained that. And then another thing that I would have to encourage while while you're moving forward, whatever goal, is to don't lose sight of your end goal. Like, that is the biggest thing. Because I remember I was reading this one book. I don't know if you've all heard of it. I've read The Alchemist. It's been a minute since I read it, so my memory could be a little bit foggy on it. But I do remember, like, the main character, he was a shepherd, I believe, but he quit being a shepherd. And like in the beginning of the book, he was like, he was looking for his, what was he looking for? It was like this big dream that he wanted, or like this big thing that he wanted. I think it was like a metaphor for his like life purpose, his purpose in life, and he was searching for that. And so throughout the entire book, he found himself in places that he never thought he would be. Like, he was working for this one person, and the book would just brush by it. It would be like, oh, he was working at this one place for like 5 years, and you're like, and I'm sitting here reading like, what, 5 years? Like, and me being as young as I am, Gen Z, like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, like, I have not had a job. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm young, but I just cannot imagine me, like, maybe right now, mind you, my background, I didn't start fully working at a job till I was like 18. And so I can't really imagine staying somewhere at 5 years or more. But it's kind of scary putting that on my podcast right now, because I'm finna get into the workforce, and then people may listen to this podcast and be like, Jefferson, you say you can't stay at a job for five years, like, so why we and then they're gonna be sitting there like, why should we hire you? Please don't do that. If you're listening to my podcast, I definitely would appreciate and being thankful for being to work at somewhere for that long. But anyway, the point of the book, the point that I was trying to make, is that he would find himself in different places in life, nowhere near his end goal, nowhere near his dream or his purpose that he was looking for. And like, say he would go one place and help this man run his business for like 5 years, and he would move on and go to another place, and then he would work there for like 7 to 10 years. And you're like reading the book like, dang, is he ever going to find his life purpose? Like, is he ever going to find his gem, like whatever he was looking for? I can't remember, like, and like that. Oh yeah, it was the Alchemist. The title of the book, he was looking for The Alchemist. And basically, I mean, he ended up finding The Alchemist, of course, but The Alchemist was the thing that helped him get closer to his purpose, his life, his goal that he was really looking for. Anyway, that's not the point of the book. It's just the point that I'm trying to make is that it's okay to not end up exactly where you first envisioned. Like, that's just your dream, that's your goal, and that's where you want to end up. But I'm starting to realize, like, the way things work and like life, you have to start somewhere. Like, you have to start somewhere, and you have to get your experience and build it up, and then go from there, and then inch closer and closer to your goal. And I just think the book, even though the book, like, I feel like the book did that on purpose to like show how much time went by just like a sentence, and be like, yeah, this is how long this is how long you have to be dedicated to whatever dream that you're dedicated to. And if it's meant for you, it'll come. And for him, it came, and he finally found what he was looking for throughout the entire book. And it was such a beautiful ending. And I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like I said, it's probably like really foggy right now, because I read this book like 2 years ago. Like 2020 or 2020, like early 2021 or late 2020. And I really feel like I want to reread it because it's not a big book, and I just want to like reread it and just kind of like, I feel like now that I'm about to go into the real world, like I'm gonna be able to really relate. Like I say the real world as if I'm not living in the real world, but I'm finally about to leave a college campus, and I'm finally about to like just really get my life started. And I feel like that character is a good character to like kind of like relate to, especially if you're going off and trying to find yourself, because that's basically what he was doing. And so yeah, I that's basically like the main thing, is to just to don't lose sight of your end goal, even if you're somewhere that you never thought you'd be, because every little journey, every little experience is going to get you closer and closer to what is truly meant for you. And so that's what I wanted to come back and say. And because the reason I was thinking about coming back and talking is because I was thinking about graduating. Like I graduate less than 2 weeks from now, and like it's starting to really hit me for real, and I'm starting to like be like, dang, I gotta like go and start my life, make money, and like grow up and do something, like make a difference in the world. I mean, so however way I can. And I'm excited for it, but I haven't really acknowledged the fact about the fear, like how not stressful, but like anxious and like fearful it can feel. And yeah, like I was thinking about this episode, the last episode, and I was like, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. But I'm still feeling all of these emotions. I'm still feeling a little bit nervous. I'm still feeling like unsure about a lot of things. And I wanted to like let people know like that's okay, and that's normal. That is actually, you know, it's part of it. It's part of it. But you have to like trust that you have to trust that whatever is meant for you will come, and you just have to be patient and just remind yourself, like I said, of the things that you do have. And these are all things that I'm not just saying, like these are things that I constantly like remind myself, because it's not easy. Like I said, I just explained how scared I am, and how like nerve-wracking it can be to go out and just graduate. Like it's not like high school where you graduate and you're like, oh, but I'm going to this college, so I kind of have a plan. No, college is like everyone's looking at you like, what are you doing next? What are you doing? And I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm 21 years old. I'm graduating a year early. Like this is this is like a little bit scary, honestly. And people are looking at me, oh, it's okay, it's fine, you'll be okay. Like, will I? I don't know, but I will be. That's just doubtful thinking and negativity. But yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this episode. As always, if you liked what you heard, please follow and subscribe on whatever platform that you're listening on. Also, like I said in the last episode, please drop a review and tell people about the podcast, what you're hearing. And like if the message really resonated with you, please tell others about it, so the podcast can grow and more people can tune in and listen to the things that Jefferson has to say. Yeah, and as always, if you like the content, if you like motivational, inspirational posts like this one, please follow my Instagram at Jefferson Coe and Motivate with Jefferson Coe for more content like this. As always, I am so thankful for all the listeners that do tune in. I'm thankful for all the people that talk to me about the podcast and my episodes and tell me about their experiences. I'm really, really thankful for all of that. And I would love to hear more about anything that you can relate to. If you want to talk to me about anything I'm talking about in this podcast, like I am ready. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in as always. I'll see you all at the next one. I have a lot more in store, y'all. I have a lot more, and I'm so excited for it. Yeah, thank you.